Football has become an endemic thing in a positive way that has impacted the lives of everyone. How can you describe how much everyone loves football? In a situation where we have tribalism, we have cultural differences, party divide, but one thing brings everyone in unison, football. And here on this edition of Offside, brought to you by Arsenal Fans Beat, we've got someone from the citizens and two gunners. Yes, today we're talking about things that also relate to young ones. Football is no longer thing that relate to somebody that is matured. How can you describe a Lamine Yamal taking elderly players that can be his father to the cleaners? How can you describe a player that is 15 years, 253 days old in his Premier League debut? It cost a penalty that led to Arsenal scoring their fifth goal in that match against Leeds United. And how can you also describe Rio Ngomu that scored the winner for Liverpool against Newcastle, that scored the winner against Newcastle. And so I have with me two gunners. I have a Bube Okechukwu. Say hi to the fans. And man from the citizens, you see the man is so relaxed because they are somehow they have a lot of things to boast for. Samuel, you say hi to the fans.
Hello everyone.
And there's one young man that you've always seen on Arsenal Fans Beat, Tonya McCarthy. Say hi to the fans.
Hello.
So guys, relax now. There's nothing. I see Tonya is getting relaxed. You guys should not allow this man to do anything to take you guys to the clinic.
I'm going to banter.
I know, right? Okay, now let's start with Ebube. Ebube, how did you fall in love with Arsenal?
It was a long time ago. I liked the way they were playing, and my mom used to support Arsenal. So I just took the part from my mom.
Okay, and you started supporting Arsenal. So once a gunner, always a gunner. And you, Samuel, the trajectory of your support is weaving topsy-turvy. From what we heard from Grapevine, you were once a United fan, once an Arsenal fan. You dilly-dally between these two clubs, and finally you're a citizen. So you help us to clarify that.
Yeah, I was amazed. It was a great club and it's still a great club, performing good things, doing great things. I was in love with the club. I'm still in love with the club.
So how did you actually fall in love with the club?
Winning trophies, major trophies, minor trophies. It's all involved in loving the club.
But is it true that you were once a Gunner and once a United fan?
Yeah.
So tell us that story.
While I was a Gunner, my grandma was a Gunner, my aunt is still a Gunner, and my uncle is a Gunner, so I started supporting Gunners. But my father was a United supporter. So he traced me that lane and I was not interested in supporting United, so that's why I left United for City.
So how can you trade Arsenal for another club side? Was it that what grandma was doing supporting Arsenal was not good enough? Just tell us what was the point you got to, and you just say, look, I'm going to be supporting. Because see, it will be started supporting Arsenal because mom was supporting Arsenal, and he followed that trajectory. But you were once a Gunner. How can you? Because there's this saying that once you love Arsenal, you cannot love Arsenal. So what was the thing that prompted you from moving? Because you rejected Dad's overtures that, look, you need to support United. You are the man, and you're my boy. You need to support United. And he said, no. So what was the thing that prompted you to now say, look, let me leave this Arsenal and support the citizens?
Well, from Arsenal, I supported United. It was the influence of my dad that pushed me to United because I loved Arsenal, but I love my dad more.
I love that. Okay, coming to Tonya.
Yes, sir.
You are a die-hard Gunner. That one is something that is unprecedented. We saw when the AFTV came to Sierra Leone, you gave Robbie a bouquet of flower. That was phenomenal. So what was the thing that made you to start supporting Arsenal?
Well, actually, it is like a very long story because at 3 years old, my uncle, who was a United fan, tried to lure me into United. but my dad took me back. And after when I started watching that game, there was an era, that 2021 era, which was the worst era for me, Arsenal. But 2022, I saw improvement, and now we are here, and I think we can contend for that. And what made me love Arsenal was like my dad. He showed me. I started watching the games. I loved the way that they played, and yeah, I fell in love with them.
Wow. So you see, when they say once you love Arsenal, you can't unlove Arsenal. This is how it's been for these young Gunners and the young citizen. One, the story started with the love. You know, the love for the mother. And the love of a mother transcended beyond that, and he kept supporting Arsenal despite the fact that we have not won, because that's the only thing you can banter us with and say, oh, we've not won trophies, Netflix FC, corner kick FC. That's the new apology that we have today. But on the other one, Samuel, see, once you're a Gunner, you could see it in his eyes that this guy is a die-hard Arsenal. Because once you love your grandmother, you cannot do without that. But the dad was trying to play some cheeky game by luring him as my son, you need to be a United fan. But still refused. Rather, he went to what United will call the noisy neighbors. But I'm sure when Arsenal start winning trophies, this man is going to return to his root. Just like Iberi Chieze. He played for a lot of club side, but yet today, he's a Gunner. So, for Toya, the story is just, look, is an irrepressible story that he has. You know, that story, that never say that spirit of a typical Arsenal fan. That look, once a Gunner, always a Gunner. Despite the fact that we're going through topsy-turvy periods in the history of the club, but yet he refused to be undaunted. He refused to be unflinched with the things that people are saying because he saw the story of Arsenal. And one thing is that once you love Arsenal, you cannot love Arsenal. Now let's come to the point. Toya, how did you feel when Arsenal bottled the league? I hate to use that word, but it's something that we just have to face reality. When we bottled the league to the citizens twice, how did you do? And we now lost it for the third time.
It wasn't twice. We didn't bottle it twice. Well, because Liverpool they were first for like a longer period of time than us. The time I bought was 2022-2023 season. At that time, I think March or April, I thought we had already won the league. I was not even phased. But games started playing, that 3 draws in a row, that cost all the title, yeah. But it was very unexpected. I wasn't really mad because the last season we came 5th. We missed out on Champions League football and we went out in the Europa League. But coming second after a tough season, yeah, for me it was improvement.
Okay. So what was the feeling like losing 3 trophies in a row and coming second? Because it was something that was like a hard sell, and it became like a phenomenal trait in the minds of banters. And you guys don't win trophy, you just keep on making noise. You guys are Netflix, especially when somebody like Patrice Evra announcing like Arsenal case is like Netflix. And so, how did you actually feel?
Well, I got a lot of banter from my friends in school that I can say, but actually, coming second 3 times in a row is not actually very good. At least we need to have 1 or 2 trophies, whether it be in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. But I still believe my team that this is we can push for the Premier League title and even win it.
Wow. This season, I believe in my team, and I believe that we can push for the Premier League title and even win it. Okay, before I come to the citizen guy, let me go to Ebube. Ebube, what was the feeling like for us to lose 3 Premier League titles in a row, and we didn't win it? And how what was the feeling like?
The first season when we bottled it, I felt like our team was just tired. I felt like, okay, the team's a young squad, maybe next season. Well, when I saw them bottle it again, I was like,
yeah, the easy one bottle it the next season because of injuries that I can accept.
Okay.
We didn't have squad depth.
Okay.
The next season after that, we now have an Arsenal number 9. Nobody could play striker for us.
So, but what was the feeling like? You felt bad, you felt terrible.
I got a lot of banter from my friends.
So how were you able to manage your emotional state of mind? Because it's like this. We still remember all of us grew up like young ones. I still recall those days when you have trolls from your contemporaries in school, and as you're going to school, you will now say, I'm going to be trolled today. So how were you able to develop a thick skin? Because it takes a lot of thick skin, character for you to know that, okay, I'm going to be bantered today, I'm going to be trolled. People are going to laugh at me. So how were you able to face that period? Because for 3 consecutive years, for you to go through that, I've grown to that level where I I'm unfazed. Tell me anything. I'll tell you, even you give us 10-0, I remain a gunner for life. I say it's in my blood. So for you as a young, growing chap, how were you able to manage such situation?
As they say, too much banter make you get used to it.
Yeah, very true.
So that was exactly how you got, Okay. And for you, Toya, how were you able to manage those situations?
Well, for me, the same thing. We had good moments, even though we came second or so. I could still argue, but over time, they always won the argument. So I'll not even say anything again. I say, you guys can continue talking. Like, especially when we have 0 Champions Leagues. That's the only thing. Especially when I'm winning an argument, they say, show me as last Champions League, and I just keep quiet.
Wow, you can see how these guys are trolling us. Anyways, let's come to the citizens. Yes, I see Samuel. You are feeling so relaxed because once you're the champion and all that. The one thing that we always say is that you guys bought trophies. And if we decide, just like Jose Mourinho said, he said if they decide to take the 115 count charges against the citizens, which is Man City, that United has 1 trophy and that he has his medal, his Premier League title medal, that you should be waiting for him. So if you look at it now, how do you feel being a champion? All of a sudden, you're falling off the radar.
We the fans don't know what they are doing. Yeah, we support the team for love. If they are doing that, it's really bad. For the trophies we win, and they are trying to charge us like charges against us. It's really bad because we struggled for them. Yeah.
Well,
For win them, we really struggled.
Well, for me,
So,
actually,
that's why.
I think that the trophy shouldn't be taken away from them, but they should at least get fined or some FFP charge, like points deduction.
You should get
into the
relegated
season,
yourself.
or even relegated. Yeah, but the trophy shouldn't get taken from them.
True.
That's my own point of view.
Okay, looking at what you guys have said, you seem to be towing the same line with Samuel, but Samuel also pointed out to the fact that what they have done, if they are found guilty, that's completely out of place. And he feels that also that the citizens, they work very hard for this title.
Yeah, very true.
But coming to look at it, this is things that have happened in the time past. We had in Italy where Juventus had the similar issues and they were relegated.
Yeah,
Points were deducted. So I think what I'm saying towards the same line that we were saying, we stand on his ground that they should be relegated. Points deducted and they should be relegated.
Yes.
But you are looking at it that the points should only be deducted.
No, I also say relegate. That should be a good thing for them.
Okay, fantastic. So you and the people are on the same line.
Yeah.
So now let me come back to you, Samuel. How would you feel knowing that you guys you've bragged your shoulders on top of the world, the best team in the world at the time, winning all the trophies that is available, including the Premier League, and having one of the best coaches coaching Man City, and suddenly the 2 titles or 3 titles were going to be taken away from you because the 2 that Arsenal lost to you guys were going to be taken away if you want to follow the rules of the book. How would you feel if at the end of the day that justice prevail and goes in the right way, the way it ought to be, that at the end of the day they stripped you guys of those titles? How would you feel as a fan?
It will be terrible for us, the fans, but it will be good for justice, yes. Because they are doing the wrong thing and it should be taken action against. So I think they should continue with that.
Somewhere, what I think, if Man City get relegated, you stop supporting the club.
That's my club. And
No, it's not your club.
for example,
You're a glory hunter.
even
I can
if
see that from
they get relegated, I'll still keep watching their games, supporting
you.
my
You
team.
still keep watching their
And
games.
For example, if we
Yeah,
get
like-
relegated for this season,
Yes.
we have players that can make us come back to the Premier League. So I'm not
And those
worried about that.
players want big leagues, and most of them will just
Only
leave
for
your
money.
team. Only for money. What are you trying to say?
Yes.
Even if that, we have one of the best coaches in the world.
Pep Guardiola. Okay, now let me tell you something about Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola can go to a team. All he needs to once the team has money, he spends a whole lot for him to win trophies. He can't just go in a team without like if Pep goes to Celtic, he will fall. When I mean fall, he will fall. And Man City, they are backed with plenty of money, and Pep can just use it how he wants.
Wow. So what do you have to say? Because what Tonya is invariably saying is that Pep cannot thrive in an environment where there are not quid, no resources. Because you need money. Because I said it from the outset. I said one of the things that made you guys win these trophies was because there was money to spend. The guys at the Etihad, the Saudis, they were spending money. They pumped money. Even before the Saudis, Pep Guardiola came, the other coaches that had coached Man City spent real good money. In fact, I could recall that Arsenal made one of the best sales to Man City by selling Kolo Touré, the like of Geklichi, Nasri, Adebayor, Sagna. We made money from Man City because those were, you say, high profile sales that we made. So how do you think Guardiola can perform if you guys are sent to the championship? And knowing too well, the championship is a very difficult league to play. It is not a place that you go and you think you can just come back easily in the championship. Do you think that Pep Guardiola and this your current Man City team, if they are relegated, can thrive in the championship?
Yes, because, for example, Leeds are back to the Premier League.
How long did it take them?
It took Leeds
couple of years. Yes, that is not easy.
Yeah, but it's not that tough because City is a big club.
Okay, now I'm going
a lot of support, big players. Even if the coach leaves the team, we'll find another replacement for him.
Okay, now I'm going to debunk your idea. If Man City go to the championship, almost all of their star players will leave, and that is it.
That's the point.
We have academy players.
Academy players.
Yes.
Academy players in the championship.
No. If they are not lucky, they relegate to EFL League One.
Okay, guys, you've seen the young Gunners. These guys, the young Gunners and the young Citizen, they are so experienced. They might be young. They've got experience in their sleeves. Look at how they are even educating us on the things that are happening, and they have very wide knowledge of the game. Now, we've also spoken about what will happen to City if they are relegated. One thing about Samuel is that he's somebody that is positive, and his ways of analyzing things is in a positive way. He doesn't say, like that is United people. You know what they will say? They will start supporting their own and say, no, we've not done anything wrong. Samuel said, look, if they are found guilty, they should be taken to the cleaners. Because it's for justice. And the same thing, that's what the young Gunnar said, and the same thing Tonya said. So three of them have agreed on one point. But one point that they've not agreed is that if City are found guilty and relegated, they will take a pretty long time to get back to the Premier League. And Samuel is of the opinion that if the big players go to other teams, they can make do with the academy players. But I differ with that because academy players in the championship, you need to have a tight skin in order to win in the championship, because the championship is a tough place. When you were relegated, you will know that football is a hard thing. So now let's come to the point of, when in the current season, things are happening. A lot of club side have bought players. Players are moving here and there.
Yes.
For the Citizens, you guys had a coach that left, and you also had a replacement. You had two coaches that have joined the hierarchy at the Citizens. Kolo Touré has joined. Rangers, former assistant to what's his name, Klopp, former Liverpool coach, has joined the coaching team of the Citizens. So now, looking at your team, do you think that you guys have that formidability to thrive in this current season? Because you have a lot of players, and when I watched you guys on the first match, I wasn't convinced. I just said you guys took Wolves to the cleaners because Wolves did not take their chances, but you guys came back biting, and you took them to the cleaners, beating them with that emphatic 4-0 victory. Five? Wasn't, thank you? No, it was 5. It was 4, yeah. 4-0, emphatic 4-0 victory wasn't convincing for me because I saw a lot of loopholes in your team, and that was corroborated when you guys played against Spurs. Spurs exposed you guys and defeated you guys before your home fans by 2-0. Looking at what you guys have done, do you think that you guys have the capacity to navigate this season's league?
For my opinion, I don't think so. I just think City will compete for the Champions League place, but not compete for the Premier League trophy. No, they don't have the squad quality.
Even with all the players you bought?
Yes.
Wow.
The players, yes, they tried the first match, but just look at the second match against Spurs. Silly mistake.
And you guys don't take your chances.
And
Mamouche
we
missed
really
2
need
chances.
a standard goalkeeper because look at the mistake Trafford did against Spurs. So I think we should put more efforts.
But you guys are on the verge of making the
Donnarumma.
signing of Donnarumma. Do you think?
For me, if Donnarumma comes to Man City, then they can push for the title. That's what I think. But
Okay.
if they don't bring in Donnarumma, then I don't even count it. Even Chelsea will be above them. That's
Okay.
what I think.
Okay, so your take, you sure Donnarumma comes just like Tony said that you guys are going to be competing for the title?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he has experience about football and he's a brilliant goalkeeper.
But he has a shortfall. He hardly plays with the foot. Because that's one of the things that Guardiola is looking for. He's looking for a goalkeeper that is good on the feet. Ederson plays better with the feet than Donnarumma. So I don't know how that is going to play out. Donnarumma is good. He's not a bad goalkeeper. But when it comes to playing with the feet, he's had some deficiencies in that area.
It's up to the coach.
Okay, it's up to the coach. So you, Ebube, do you think that your team, Arsenal, has got what it takes to navigate this season's Premier League victory?
Yes, of course.
So what are the things that you're seeing in this current team before I come to Tonya?
Our team is balanced in every area. Our goalkeeper, Raya, is amazing in goal. Up top, Victor Gyökeres. You saw his 2 goals against Leeds United, even though he was shaky against Man United. But you become better, you become usual. Our wingers, we have a lot of squad depth to play for the bench and up top. I feel like we can fight for the title.
Okay, we can fight for the title. Let me come to you, Tonya. Do you think, looking at the squad depth now we have, because from what Bubi said, it means that we have squad depth, and he believes that with the squad depth that we have, that we can go all the way for the title. Do you think that we have, because I've not been convinced though, I'm a true gunner, but I've not been convinced in the first 2 matches that we've played. I felt terribly out of place, looking at how we're losing the first balls against United. Against Leeds, we were not too good in the first half. But second half, when Odegaard was pulled out, substituted, we started seeing some fluidity and movement of the ball. Because I'm of the opinion that from the outset, that we were not playing to the strength of Victor Gyökeres. He's making all the runs, but nobody is seeing those runs. So now, do you think that we have a tactical defect in the aspect of the coaches? Because I feel like we have all these players, but we're not the tactical know-how of the coach might be one of the biggest shortfalls we have this season. What's your take?
For me, this Arsenal team now, they are building for the future. Example, like Christian Mosquera, in case Saliba leaves, Mosquera will just slide in. And with the signing of Pierre Nkapie looking very like it's going to happen, I think that's for Gabriel because he's getting old and some Saudi clubs have been attracted with him. And as for Luis Kelly and Calafiori, I think Luis Kelly and Calafiori will be very good interchange, especially for small games when Luis Kelly can play. And right back, Ben White and Timber will be very good. And for the midfield, it will be Mendy, and we have a Premier League proven defensive midfielder, which in Christian Nogard. And for the number 8 role, we have Declan Rice and Mikel Merino. That number 10 role looks like kind of confusing because Waneri said he wants game time. So I see Eze moving to that left wing and Odegaard and Waneri will play for that number 10 role. For the guy we already know, it's Saka and Madueke. But another change I think I'll see with the Caravat injury, I think Trossard will be used as a backup striker.
Okay. But do you think we've got all it takes for us to compete for this?
For me, right now, there should be no excuses for Arteta. Even though if there are injuries, we should win the Premier League this season.
Wow.
Also fight for the Champions League.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the definitive statement from the young Gunners. One, there is no excuse whatsoever from Mikel Arteta because of the squad depth. Everybody is convinced that with the squad depth that we have, that nothing is going to stop Arsenal from making the Premier League title. And he's also convinced that the Champions League title is going to come to Arsenal. And for the man from the Citizen, he's just looking at it that Donnarumma will be the one that will make the change. Now, we've come to that point where we're going to say positive things about our club side and tell the fans what you expect. Tell the players what you expect from them as the season unfolds. Because it's a long journey. So I want to start with the man from the citizens. What is your word to your fans and your coach going forward?
For the fans, I just want to say a simple thing that you should continue supporting City no matter what the consequences. We should still continue supporting City because it's our club for the love, not for trophies or anything else. So the coach, I think he should make great impact to the teams starting players because there are some players they are not used to the Premier League. Yes, like for Tijani Reinders, Czechie, they scored against Wolves, but they didn't do nothing against Tottenham. Yes. Reinders wasn't seen, neither Czechie.
He traveled.
So I think he should make changes to the midfield.
Can I say something?
Yeah, you can.
So you are talking about you should still love the club, whether the consequences, and it's about the love, not about the trophies. So,
Yes.
but you said that when City started winning trophies, that's why you left Arsenal.
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said I supported City because of for the love. I left United. I left United
You are
because
lying. You are lying.
because I hate
Lying.
United.
Yeah, you hate United.
Wow.
So what I'm trying to ask, why?
So-
So why didn't you come back to Arsenal? You went back to United's rivals, which are City.
No.
That was a good question. I think you should answer that question. Because if you once a Gunner and you
Always a
hate,
Gunner.
you said the word I hate United. That's the word you use. So why did you choose to go to their rivals rather than to return to your first love?
Yes, because I want when United City are playing, when City wins the game, I will banter my dad.
No, well,
That was why I left
for me-
United for City.
well,
Yes,
for
for the
me-
banter.
well, for me that is not like a good answer to that, because you can't support a team just for one crucial game that happens maybe once in every 6 months. That's a bad reason there.
Wow.
It's your taking.
anyways. Okay. Your final word now. We want to talk. I also want you to say something to young fans out there. Because you guys are going to be regular faces on Offside and Arsenal fans beat. So you need to encourage your younger ones, your contemporaries, I beg your pardon, for them to also come and embrace what you are doing. Can you tell them?
Yeah, you should put more effort to your supporting. Any team you are supporting your club, you should put more effort, love. Don't support for trophies, no money, no players. Support for the love and continue supporting. That's why.
Okay, let me come to Ebube. Ebube, you are confident that with the depth we have, squad depth, that there is an open opportunity for Arsenal to nick 2 titles this season, major titles. Talk about the Premier League and the Champions League. So, tell Arteta your mind what Arteta should do. Arteta need to do something, and what you expect from the players. 3 things you're doing. You're talking to Arteta, you're talking to the players, and you're talking to young fans like you for them to start embracing what you are doing. Because what you're doing is phenomenal. For you to come on the studio and you're talking, you have, football in-depth knowledge. So talk to your fans.
I feel like Arteta tactics is good, but he needs to start showing like you're gonna win a trophy. Sometimes you say we're doing good, coming second. We need to push for more. For those young fans, I feel like this is our year. We should also support not for the fame, not for trophies. It's for
The
for
banter.
love.
Okay, for love and the banter. Okay, coming to Tonya. Tonya, I see you want to skin the man from the citizen. You are... Okay, let us hear what you need to tell your fans, tell the Arsenal fans, tell Arteta, and tell young fans also for them to embrace what you're doing and let them come to the channel as well.
Well, for me, as for Arteta, I think he needs to make like a tactical tweak to the system that Arsenal play, especially when we meet up low blocks. We always struggle against low blocks. And Maybe if we meet up like a mid block, we should start playing in transitions. Don't meet up like a low block. I think someone that can break that low block is like Calafiori, the way he moves in between. And if for Madueke, because I started seeing him on the left, for him to function well on the left, he needs an overlapping fullback, which Calafiori was doing, and it was going very well for us. And for the Arsenal fans and for the young Arsenal fans, I think we should keep supporting the club. And this year is a year.
Wow.
And I predict that Arsenal will have a league double. We win the league and the FA Cup, but I don't see us win the Champions League this season.
Okay, thank you. That's a good reminder. So, what's your prediction for your team, you, Tonya, for the season? What are you looking at for the season? At the end of the season, this is where the citizens are going to be.
Like for last year, Citizens end up third, yes. Third, and I am seeing the same thing going on for this season. Yes.
So you guys are going to turn out third.
Yes. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know for the future.
Do you hope that you guys are going to nick any trophy?
Yeah, I hope we win maybe minor trophies because I don't see major trophies coming on for City this season.
Okay, and from you, Ebube, what do you think that Arsenal should win this season? Where do you think we're going to end? Even though you've said it passively.
We should mostly win the league. We can go for Champions League, but we mostly need to win the league because we've already bottled it 3 times in a row now.
Anyways,
Well, for me, I don't think that we bottled it 3 times in a row. For me, we only bottled it once. The other times, there were other teams leading. Like, for example, the other seasons were Liverpool that bottled. And for this season, we weren't even forced for a period of time. And it was Liverpool that were for. I can't say that we bottled. We just came second twice and we bottled it once.
okay. Fans, you can't do anything more than to make a comment on what Ebube, Samuel, and Tonya have said. These guys have shown me so much in-depth reviews about their knowledge about football. This is what we're talking about. We're catching them, we're growing them young. And you're going to be seeing these 3 faces regularly on Offside. This is the Ghana stock for the young ones, and they're going to be doing a whole lot of in-depth analysis. The time will come when we're going to see them, they will grow to the point where they're going to be doing reviews and presentation on their own. And that is exactly what we saw in Max Dorman, 15 years, 253 days old, playing for the English Premier League. And Rio, saving the faces of the Anfield people against the Magpies. And so, you also saw what Lamine Yamal is doing, carrying the entire Barcelona on his shoulders. So now, it is an era for the young ones. And you see how my Gunners mates, how they have in-depth knowledge of their team. And even Tonya provided the solution, telling us that Arteta need to make a tactical tweak. And that is what even we, the matured minds, have seen and we've noticed it. That when we play against low block teams, we hardly thrive. And he's even telling Arteta what to do. And for Ebube said, look, the major thing is the Premier League. I'm sure Ebube has been suffering a lot of trolls in school, and so he made that Premier League title. So this has been this edition of Offside, brought to you by Arsenal Fans Beat. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe to this community as we keep on building it together. One of the best things that you're going to do for us as we keep on building this community together is to look at all our social media handles. Follow us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. Together, we can do this together. Until then, it is the Offside. Keep it tight!